Okay, so let's read the premise now. A study to look at the early learning of rural kids was carried out in a number of villages spanning three states chosen from Northeast, West, and South. So there are three states here. This table has got to do something with that, I guess. I can see those rows having Northeast, West, and South. 50-year-old kids were each sampled from each of the 150 villages from Northeast. Okay, 54-year-old kids from 150 villages of Northeast. So that's a total of what, 7,500. But I see 5,000 in this table, so there might be something else to this. There's a 7,500 kids from Northeast, whatever 1,2,500. Yeah, so something is always a shortfall. So I'll come to this later on. So that this is something to do with it, definitely. And it was found that out of the 30,000, so let me take this data first. So we have 54-year-old kids. So 54-year-old, I don't think that will be relevant. If relevant, I'll take it later on. So I'll take the total. So Northeast total is what, 7,500. The West total is 1,2,500. South total is 250. So that's 10,000. Three zeros and one more zero for 10. It was found that out of the 30,000 surveyed kids, 55% studied in primary schools. Okay. I don't think I should take these totals now. I can get back to it. So there's something discrepancy. So what I'm noticing is 55% in primary schools, which is denoted by this G. So this 55% in G, 55% of 30,000 should be this 16,500, right? But there is 13,500 here. Again, I mean, there's something related to this table. Let me get that first. So kids surveyed were further divided into two groups based on, yes, so this is it. So on whether their mothers dropped out of school before completing primary education or not. So there are kids whose mothers dropped out of school before whatever. So dropped out of school, and kids whose mothers have not dropped out, so completed the education. So the table below gives the, yeah, so the table gives below for the completed the primary education. So this is the group for primary education, sorry, completed the primary education. So how should I approach it? Okay, there's some more information given that should be, I guess, for the inner cells. Let's draw another matrix. So I'll take this off now. You'll understand what I'm doing. I'll do two changes. One thing, what I'm noticing is in most of these information, it ends with couple of zeros. So when I'm drawing this table, I don't want to write big numbers every time. I'm going to draw a big table first of all. So the same kind of matrix I'm going to draw that is given. So this is there. Okay. And the rows, also the totals. I typically use this hash symbol for the total. And this is what I was talking about. I have a habit of doing this. I'll show you how, if you can utilize it, it will be helpful for you. In some cases, this is very helpful because you don't have to relate the. If you try to draw another table for the rest of the information, then you have to relate the two information each and every time. So that is what I'm avoiding. So let me show you how. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide each cell into two parts, something like this. Not for the grand total, I don't require it, or I should actually for the even for the grand total. So this is a grand total, by the way. So let me complete this anyhow. That should be, yeah, that should help you understand what I'm doing. So first I'll do this. Let me complete this. And how am I going to use it? I'm just going to show that to you. Now, just not to get confused myself, what I do is I'll always write above here what are which part of each cell is denoting the two categories, right? So what I mean by two categories in this case, in this particular context, is mothers dropping out. So so which is given. So dropping out is given. So I'll use the above part for that. So dropped out above the this thing, uh, this diagonals, or each of the each cell, the top part, that will be the dropped out, that will indicate the ones which are dropped out, and those who have completed. So this is what we have to fill, right? So first let me quickly take the numbers, and as I was saying, I was noticing that each of the numbers are ending with couple of zeros. So whatever information I'm going to collect directly from the table, or from the points, or from the initial information here, I'm going to ignore two zeros everywhere. So that will give me smaller numbers. I know that can arise to certain decimals at certain stages, but I'm not worried about that, because every answer that I'm going to obtain, numerical answer that I'm going to obtain, I have to just multiply 100 to get the actual value. So I'm just dividing everything by 100, something like that. So I'm just going to ignore the two zeros in each of the cases. So 42, 5, 3, this is 50 total. This is 42 again. This is 19. Just for each cell, I hope you can identify this now easily. And 73. Now, this is something I used to do when I first handled these kind of things. I used to, with the pen, I used to mark this a little darker. So if you can do that, might be that will be easier for you to discriminate in the cells. So I'll do that here also, uh, just that you don't get confused in the cells. So now I think you can easily identify the cells. You would never get confused in the cells now. So I think you understood what I'm saying. So this thing you can do with a pen itself, right? So just making it a little bolder or something. Anyhow, let's carry on. So this is 51. This is 3. This is 3. Okay, just let me write this. Yeah. Then you have 57. I don't know why these totals are given. Anyhow, as long as helps me, I don't care. So 27, 18, and this is 180. Great. Now we know that there's a grand total of 30,000. So I'll just write 300 for that. So so this entire, both of these adds up to 300. So this part should be 120, right? So I hope now you understand this, the idea here. I can do it in one table itself. Uh, for Northeast, the total was 54-year-old with 150 villages. So 50 into 150, that is what I was writing initially, right? So 50 into 150 is what, 75 followed by a couple of zeros, but we are ignoring a couple of zeros. So this total is 75. Don't write 75 here, that will be incorrect. This total is 75, out of which 50 is here. So there should be 25 here. So you need to do this small calculation. You can write it down if you want, but these things, if you can do it mentally, it's good. In certain cases, I'll write down if you want. 50 and 250. So 50 cross 250 typically is whatever. I need to divide by 100. So ignore these two zeros. This is what is happening in my mind when I'm doing it mentally. I'm just ignoring two zeros here. So 5 into 25 is 125. Out of which 73 is here. So 125 minus 73, that is what, 52. So 52 comes here. So now let me take this off. I hope that was understood. Just a calculation bit. And obviously I can take this from the 120 itself. So out of the 120, I have 25 here and 52 here. That takes up 77. So I should be left with what, 43 here? Yeah. So I should be left with 43 here. Correct. So you can verify this also if you want. This 200 cross 50 divided by 100 is simply 2 into 50, 100. And then 57 plus 43 is 100. So you can verify if you want. That's not required actually. Now coming to the column total. So we know that 55% are from G. Again, 55% of, so every time I'll take a percentage. I won't take a percentage of 300,000, because I hope you remember that we just need to multiply or divide everything by 100, right? So what I'll do is, so this is a shortcut, I mean, which I figured out when I was thinking of all of this. I mean, it's these kind of things, if you have a habit of simplifying calculation, will automatically happen in mind. So see what happens. So the first two zeros are anyhow ignored, because that is what we have ignored everywhere. And then you are left with something like this, right? 55% of 300. So effectively what happens, see, so all you have to do is, for each percentage number, you just need to multiply that with 3. So for example, 55%, so 55 into 3, 37%, 37 into 3, something like that. So 55 into 3 is what? 55 into 3 is 165, out of which 135 is here. So that takes up 30 for this, right? Then you have 37 into 3, or let me do 8 into 3. This is given some reason. I mean, so 8 into 3 is 24. So 8 into 3 is 24. So this takes up 24. And now 24 and 30 is what? 54. So 54 taken out of 120. Oh, sorry. My bad. This is not 24, by the way. My bad. 8 into 3 is 24. 24 is this total. So 18 here, 6 here. So 30 and 6 is 36. One taken out of 120. So that should be 84 here, right? If you want to verify, you can verify. 37 into 3 is 111, and 84 plus 27 is actually 111. So yeah, so that is done. So now we can get into the points. So point number 1, 2, 3, let's go into that. The totals are done. In matrices, in number distribution matrices, totals are very important. As soon as you get the totals, put in the totals. That will help you a lot. So whatever we are solving for is the, for each cell, the bottom part, right? Below the diagonal, something like that. Because above one is anyhow given in the table. So let us look into that. So first point tells us that in S, so in S is this row, 60% of the surveyed kids were in G. Okay. So in S, so that is out of these people, or let me use a different color for this. So in S, so there's this row, out of the entire people, right? So that is a row total. 60% are in G. The row total is 100, right? I hope you can see 57 plus 43. So 100, 60% of that is 60. So this 2 should be adding up to 60. So effectively that means this is 9. So this is done. Moreover, in S, all the surveyed kids whose mothers had completed primary education were in school. Now, I think I remember the O was here. So the O did not go to school. This was part of the premise. Private schools and government schools, and that O is so. So this is like let me write that not school or something. So if later on there's a reference, I can simply look at this. So that's a not school. So what we know is in S, all the surveyed kids whose mothers had completed primary education. So below the diagonals, so these values, out of which everybody has gone to school. So what it indirectly implies is this is 0, right? Nobody is out of school. Now this total is 43. This is 9, this is 0. So this automatically tells us that this is 34, right? This is pretty easy. So this row is done completely, right? So first information was very good. Second information tells us that in Northeast, among the O kids, okay, so see, this is something we always stress on in our classes. In percentage, the most important part is the denominator. Always, whenever percentage related information, try to identify what is the denominator. For example, in the first question, we talked about in S, comma, then 60%. So basically the denominator is S total. Now, second point, see, how does it tell us? In any among the O kids. So in any among the O kids means this portion. So not in any total. Out of when I say any, don't read it as A and Y. In Northeast. So in Northeast among the O kids, 50% are mothers. So among the O kids is this thing, right? This portion only. So this is the denominator. Out of this, 50% had mothers who had dropped out of before completing primary education. So out of this, if 50% is here, the rest of 50% should be here. So what it automatically implies is these two are same number. So if that is 3, this is also 3. So pretty simple, right? So this is what you have to understand. Also, let us complete one other thing. We can fill this column, right? Because this is 3, this is 0. So that means the 6 out of the 6, the remaining 3 should go here, right? So again, this column is also done. So the second information is completed, I guess. Yeah. Third information tells us that number of kids in G in Northeast. The number of kids in G in Northeast, so this total was same as the number of kids in number of kids in G in W. So this total is equal to this total. But we also can see that 42 and 42 are anyhow equal, right? So these two should also be equal value. Sorry for that. This is sometimes a disturbance. If these two are equal, so I'll repeat this part. It says in North the number of kids in G in NE. So this total is same as the number of kids of in G in W. So this total. So these two totals being equal, 42 and 42 are anyhow equal. Sorry, this 42 and this 42 are anyhow equal. That means these two numbers should also be equal. Now we already have this as 30. 9 is gone here, so we are left with 21. So remember, I told you initially. I mean, typically the number of people being decimal is not not a possibility, right? But in this case, we can, because if you remember, we initially divided each number by 100. So if you get decimal, don't be too much worried about it. That's fine. When we get the final answer, everything will be multiplied to 100 anyhow. So out of the 39 are gone, and we have to divide the 21 equally. So this is 10.5 and 10.5. I'm going along with that, that divided by 100 thing only. So I hope you understand, because in this table, if I had big numbers, that would have been too cumbersome, right? Okay. Now let's say number 3, the number of kids in G in NE. The number of kids in G in NE. So this part was same as the number of, okay, oh sorry, so that was the last information. Oh, why do I need any more information? I can fill in the matrix, right? So this is 10.5, this is 3, so that is 13.5. This total is 25. So 25 minus 13.5, so that's what, 11.5. So 11.5 comes here. This part you can do either from the column or from the row. I'm seeing the column total is bigger, so let's go with the row total. So this is 52. Out of it is 3 and the 10.5. 13.5 is taken. So we're left with what? 38.5, yeah. In this case, maybe the column total would have been easy, because 84 minus 34 is 50, right? So all you need is, difference is 50. So you're left with 50. So 11.5 and 35, whatever, whichever you prefer. So you can finish this off. So this is done. So now we can get into the question, right? Because nothing else is provided anyhow, and what else would require. So let's get into the questions now. 17th, it's asked for what percentage of kids from S were studying in P. So this is the part I was actually initially I mentioned as well. Only when I have a numeric question, I would need to multiply 100. But if I have a percentage, so if you have questions like this, so this is the advantage if you do something like this with the data. So you can divide everything or remove some zeros and all. So you can if you are reducing by the same factor, never reduce by different factors, that will be incorrect. But if you're reducing with the same factor, the percentage won't impact, right? I mean, both the values would have been divided by 100. So how does the ratio change? So how does the percentage change, right? So what percentage of kids? So let's look into the question now. So what percentage of kids from S were studying in P, right? So what percentage of students in S? So this part, so the total, don't assume dropped out or completed education. So this 100 were studying in P. So P is this. So this is straightforward, right? Out of 137, I mean, that's not even a question. It's a 37%. So 17th is A. 18th, among the kids in W whose mothers had completed primary education, how many were not in school? So this is something. So let's read this once more. So among the kids in W whose mothers had completed education were not in school. So not in school, we have taken note of that, but we are looking for W. So this row, and specifically, so so this column and this row is intersecting here. But out of that, we are looking specifically for the mothers, those whose mothers had completed primary education. So that is this below the diagonal, right? So this is the advantage of keeping a note of this. So you can refer back to this later on whenever you need it. So completed education is this 3, but this is a numeric question, so we would require to multiply by 100. So the answer in this case is 300. So let me take these things off. Yeah. So the answer here is option A, 300. So these are the first two questions, pretty easy. Let's get the next set of questions. So now it says in a follow-up survey of the same kids 2 years later. Okay. It was found that all the kids were now in school. Of the kids who were not in school earlier in one region, 25% were in G now, whereas the rest were okay. Okay. So something has changed. So it says that kids who were not in school earlier in one region. So all the kids were now in school. So this O thing becomes 0. So there is some movement from O to G and O to P, right? So we have to take in the movement. But this thing, what I see or what I find is there is nothing to do with those mothers dropping out and completed the education. So maybe that is not relevant, but I'll keep the table for your reference. I mean, when you're doing it in rough work, you'll already have that table in front of you, even if you have to refer back. But I'll keep the table. So I'll just reduce the size of the table. Okay. So what it says, so I know there has to be a movement from this O to G and O to P. So some sort of movement here. Let's first deal with the totals, but then it divides it in terms of the regions as well, right? 25% were in G now. So I need these totals, right? So the specific region specific totals that were in O. So let me put it in this way. So for Northeast, for West, and for South, there are 6 here. There is 15 here, and there is 3 here. Now that gets transferred certain amount here for each of the cases, right? For Northeast, for West, and for South. So this transfer is what we are looking for, how it get transferred. Okay, so what does it say? So in one region, we don't know which region, but there is one region in which 25% goes to G and the rest to P. Okay, so there is one of these. So let me write this separately. Now this doesn't, okay, so when I'm writing this down, I know this mentally, but I hope you guys can also understand. So one of this is 25%, one of this is 75% here. So don't assume that this is for 6. This is just I'm taking a note. So in those cases, I always mark it something like this. I can later on visually understand that. So 25% goes to G and 75%. So one of the numbers is distributed in this way. Okay, and so this is for one region. In the second region, all such kids were in G now. Okay, so 100% goes to G now and nothing to P. 50%, third region, 50% of such kids had now joined to G while the rest had joined P. So there is a third region where this 50% distribution happens. Okay. What else do we have? As a result, in all 3 regions put together, 50% are in G. Okay, so out of the 24, so there's a total of 24, right, who were not in school earlier. So out of this 24, there's a movement of 12 here and a movement of 12 here. So this is a good thing. Uh, uh, Typically, people would get into equations. I'll show you a method without equations. What I'm noticing is this P thing. See, I can take the perspective of either one of them, but I'll focus on P because if you think about it, P has only 2 movements, right? Only there is one region is moving by 75%, another 50%. So there are not 3 movements as in G. G has 3 different movements, right? I can also take a perspective of G, and what I can say is straight away, this 100% cannot be G or 15. But then doesn't help me too much. So let's focus on P. First of all, what about this? Let's say the 75%. Yeah. So what about the 75%? 75% has to be of okay, so this great. So I figured something out while I was pondering on it. So let me explain this to you in this manner. So 75% of something and 45% of something should add up to 12, right? This is something we have. So because there is a 12 that is moving to this p thing, isn't it? Now think about it. So what are the numbers that we have? We have 6, 15, and 3, right? Now if you think about first of all the 15, right? We already know, I mentioned this earlier, right? The 15 cannot go completely to G, right? Now, if so there has to be something of 15 going to P. I mean, this 15 cannot be this particular region, right? Because there is only 12 people moving to G. I hope you're getting that. 15. What percentage can we take? If we take 15 of, I mean, 75% of 15, that itself is a very big number, isn't it? I mean, 75% of 15. I mean, 25% is what? 1/4. So that is 3.75. So take it off, that is 11.25. And there has to be 12 people moving. So how do you get that 0.25 anyhow? So, I mean, nothing of, so why did I write 45% here? I'm sorry for that. So this is 50%. I was just thinking about it and I wrote 45% for some reason. Anyhow, sorry for that. I'll just repeat this. So if I take 15 in this block, then the problem is, what do I fit in here? So it's 50% of nothing will give me this 0.25, right? I hope you get my point. 75% of 15 itself is 11.25. So sorry, I need 0.75, but then 50% of nothing will give me 0.75 because 1.5 is not in the number anyhow. Because that's a very small number. So that is what my thinking was. I mean, that is what I noticed. I mean, because 15 something has to go to P, it cannot be 75% of that. It has to be 50% of that. So that solves itself. So 50% of 75, just calculate that. That is 7.5. So if this is 7.5, then this must be 4.5, right, to satisfy this 12. Now, what number has 75% as 4.5? Obviously not 3, right? I mean, 100% of 3 is not 4.5. So how can 75% be? So it has to be 6. So now we know the regions. So we know that 75% of this 6 goes to this thing, P. So that is 4.5 and the remaining 1.5 here. 15, you have a distribution of 50%, 50%. So that is 7.5 here and 7.5 here. Don't worry about the decimals. I hope you're not worrying about the decimals because everything is divided by 100 here. And the remaining of it, the 3 is the one which completely goes to a G. So this 3 goes here and nothing here. So this is the change that happened. So let me take the rest of it off. Okay, so this is the important part. So let's keep that. So now, first question. I mean, this question number 19 on it. What number of surveyed kids now were in G in W? What number of surveyed kids now were in G in W? So we are looking for this part, right? So this part essentially, but additionally, you have 7.5 people now moving from that O category. So initially you had 52.5 and now the 7.5 also moves in. So that's 60, the numerical question. So multiply that 100 here. Excuse me. So multiply that 100 here. So you get 6,000. So that's the answer for this question. Let's get the next one now. Okay, so this is the same premise for question number 20. You have that same change and everything. So we can use this thing that we know. Okay, so what is it looking for? What percentage of the surveyed kids in S? So this row, whose mothers had dropped out before completing education. So out of what? Dropped out. So this 57. So this dropped out. So that is this 57. I hope you can see that I had to reduce this initial table to, get some space to solve the rest of it. But I hope you can see that is 57. So what percentage of the surveyed kids in S whose mothers had dropped out before completing primary education were in G now? We're looking at the percentage. So we don't care about that multiplying the 100 thing. Now check this out. I mean, this is an interesting question because it says we're looking for percentage out of this of this. But please understand, this number is not 51 anymore. there is a movement from this O to these regions, right? This question we can answer because if you remember, in this region S, everybody moved to G, right? So all of these three has actually moved to this G. So essentially, this number has become 51 plus 3 now. So that is 54. We just have to take it as a percentage of 57. Okay, so had it been for some other region, the problem is, for example, let me explain that. So this 15, there is 7.5 movement here and 7.5 movement here. So had the similar question asked for this 15, we don't know out of this 15 how many of 12 moved and how many of 3 moved. I hope you get the point, right? So in this case, because the complete thing is moving to G, so now we can claim that yes, of course, this is there. Even supportively, you have this as 0, but then I hope you get the point why we can determine this. So in this case, we can determine it 54 by 57. That is 18 by 19. So roughly 1 by 19 less than 100%. 1 by 19 is roughly 5%. So little more than 95, little less than, sorry, this is roughly more than 5%. So little less than 95%. Shouldn't go to 93.46% is too high. So that is 94.7%. So that is the answer for this question. And that is the last question of this set. Let's get the analysis done now. Okay, so I hope you understood that this is not a tough set. I cannot claim this as to be a tough set because this can be solved, but it will take a bit of time. So let me first of all mention the difficulty as medium. So I'll mention it as medium or moderate, whatever. So I'll term this as moderate level of difficulty, solely because of the fact that first of all, it will take some time to complete this table, the initial matrix. And for the next two questions, again, you have, after all, a bit of more analysis to do, a little bit more calculation to do. So it's a easy to medium kind of thing. Not that every easy to medium questions are quickly done, but this is a easy to medium question type of question which will take you around. I mean, ideal time for this to solve the entire set, that is, would be somewhere around 7 to 9 minutes. So this should be the range, or let me put a 7 to 10 minutes, depending on your comfortability with the analysis of the, especially the last two questions. So I believe a 7 to 10 minutes on this set should be ideal. Should be too much of a hindrance here. So this is for this set. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a very nice set. It's a typical kind of easy, number distribution sets that you find in CAT every now and then. So I hope you enjoyed it.